Quick video with the priest. Why is Jah so forgiving? Why does Jah teach us to forgive? Okay, if we was born in a utopia, black again, heart of love, Rastafari love. Give thanks for watching. We was born in a utopia where we had perfect parents, a perfect environment. All our parents are perfect because, again, they wasn't born in a perfect environment. So I'd much rather say if we had a perfect environment, to produce perfect parents, so we can be like the perfect children, then, we would all turn out to be good people, and have a good life, easy life, yeah, righteous life. But unfortunately, things happened before we were born, and it passed down through generations, and yeah, it forced, many of us to be, most of us, if not all of us, watch this blessing. Blessings! Yeah, Rastafari. Yes, I. So the whole world, has suffered this to some degree, where like society, has been handing down through generations through parenting, through, excuse me, just pure blessings, through social, you know, education and social morality, you know. Unfortunately, in the world as we see it, we're in trouble. Most of all the world in trouble. And the trouble is that, again, we don't live in a utopia. We don't live in a perfect world. And because of this lack of perfection in humanity, it forces us, to start to understand or try to understand, how to enjoy and be at peace and, still see the bright side of the world, amidst, it being an imperfect world. With that being said, so for that reason, we've come to find out that, God asks us to forgive. He say, forgive us, you shall be forgiven. Forgive your brother 77 times 7. Why is this so important? When you really look at, a bunch of people that come together as a world, and in this world that we live in, we have a bunch of people being born, being taught, a bunch of people that are teaching and are giving birth, that are kind of handing down the wrong information about life and kind of carrying out a wrong way of life, that is offensive to others, This causes the strife in the world. This causes the need for forgiveness. As many may or may have heard, there is, a great glory written in the Bible. The King James Bible speaks about, the black Moses, who went to, the black host of Israelite, a people that was in bondage, in fear, in torment, with no hope, and he brought them the 10 Commandments, And in those 10 Commandments, one of those, commandments, that he gave I is that, yeah, we should not covet the neighbors, steal, these offensive stuff, things that we have been handed down. If you look in the world today, you'll see people stealing. If you look in the world today, you'll see people harming people and taking people property, and you just see a lot of things that is in opposition to these 10 commandments, which are a good way of living, a way to love and respect each other. Yes, brethren. Yes, I. Yeah, so through these Ten Commandments, what the man give us, we could even look at the world today, and we could see the need to forgive, because we may have people or we may encounter people, or even within ourselves, we may practice things that are offensive, to each other's, and you can't have peace, without a justice. A justice is just okay if, there's a situation where, the truth is needed, then the justice is that the truth come out, or the truth be told, or, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's the justice. Or the judgment be based on truth, not a lie, you know what I mean? Another form is like, yeah, we don't kill one another, yeah, it's just so common sense, you know what I mean? What in the world do you have to really kill another person for? There's nothing in this world that the person really could take from you, you know, to deserve to actually kill them. We should know we have to be killing each other, you know, because, like, first of all, the world is not yours. You met it here. You see, this another part of the generational culture and teachings. That possessiveness, like, this your house, this your car, this your home. Or I see my neighbor's car, I see my neighbor's house, I see their possession, so I want that. So sometimes, they steal or they aggress or manipulate and, stuff like that. Yeah, so with this understanding, I mean, the whole world is kind of out of course because, people are breaking the Ten Commandments. People are lying to each other. People are stealing from each other. People are literally killing each other, you know, coveting their neighbor's wife and the car and the ox and the shoes, and they just bothering other people's stuff. And it's so unnatural. It's very unnatural, you know, um, for humans to act this way. But, there's, you know, not a perfection that came today, as yet for that utopia. Humanity's still striving, you know, to bring peace and to bring a justice, you know what I mean, to each other's. And, unfortunately, many are even, like I say, killing. They resorting to war, you know. But really in the world, should we fight over, that we have to kill one another, till it comes to death, like, yeah, it's just dread. And many people say, but God killed people in the Bible. There's a difference between, aggression, and self-defense. Here where we go. I'll use the Emperor of Ethiopia, for example. You know, the Emperor of Ethiopia, Rastafari, was aggressed by, you know, another nation, and it's because this nation was invading and aggressing. It was only then, that, the king and his army take up arms in self-defense. You see, and to prove it, when the war was over and the King Rastafari won the victory over his enemies, the aggressors, some of the remnants of his aggressor soldiers, he banded them up and aided them and shipped them back to their country. Didn't even hold them as POWs, prisoners of war. So it shows that, the emperor had a great understanding that, you know, war is not the answer to actually solve our problems. To actually solve our issues is to first forgive, you know, and to seek justice, for everyone. Why should we forgive? You know, this person don't deserve forgiveness. They're an animal. They're the worst person I ever met. You know, it takes a manufacturer. I'm sorry, the video, ceased a bit. It takes a manufacturer to manufacture a gun, and it takes someone to purchase that gun and use that gun for that gun to be dangerous. You see, so when we meet people along in life, even, you know, tyrannic governments and leaders and kings, you know, they were manufactured, many of them, if not all, from children. All, I should say, not many. All was manufactured from children, you know, to have that ability to move within that, you know, that need of hate and, you know, brutality and aggressiveness and greed, you see. It takes the manufacturing, sometimes even of a whole community, sometimes a whole country, yeah, cooperates, to manufacture leaders, that perform this way in life. So if we really look at it, most leaders that are tyrannic and destructive, they have supporters. They have a lot of supporters. The people that support them, they support the lack of aggression and, where there can be peace, you know. But in order for I and I, the original, way of us to live in the midst of all this, offensiveness, that we may gather from even within our own self, neighbor to neighbor, people to people, family to family, we may have disagreements based on, most of the stuff, like I say, we was just brought up, here within, a lot of wrong, the society we grew up in, the family, you know, we love them. We love our society. We love everybody in society. But what was being taught, what was being handed down, you know what I mean? And has been handed down, it's a little much of continuation of, error and wrong, the stealing that is handed down and taught to the children, you know, the covetousness, the jealousy, the need to have what someone else has, to be happy. All of that is handed down, yeah, even poverty, yeah, lack of just, yeah, understanding, life and everything is what is handed down. I hope you all feel where I'm coming from. So this is why God forgives everyone, you know. Um, God doesn't condemn no one, in this world. Can't, because, and someone would say, but why you mean? I mean, God can't condemn no one. Don't care how wicked they is. No. People can even sometimes condemn themselves, try to condemn themselves, and Jadis even say if you condemn yourself, he can show you that you don't deserve to condemn yourself. Because it's not your fault. It's not 100% your fault. If it was 100% your fault, then I can condemn you. You see? You see the fair judgment? That's the fair judgment of God. Yeah, if I had brought you up perfectly like a child, and, teach you everything I know. Yeah, and you know of me and everything. Yeah, and then, yeah, you still error from me. I still can't condemn you. Yeah, because God just don't condemn no one. It's mercy endured forever. You still could come to right. You still could come to good. Why not? That's the objective of life, to be right, to be happy, to be good. Think about it. Why we really came to earth? Not to be bad. Why? Because it's counterproductive. It is. When we do things bad, it puts us backwards. It doesn't push us forward. I can use the most simple example, if you're looking to have a good day, and fire burns and you put your hand on the fire, That can put your day backwards because now your fan get burned. You wasn't paying attention to the truth of the facts. You cannot intentionally burn yourself and expect to have a good day. So, with that being said, still, yeah, God doesn't condemn us, but at the same time, it's for our own good. Yeah, that we learn from our mistakes. You know, we don't condemn ourselves by saying we have to be this way. This is just me. I can't do no better. Yeah, I just can't. You can first forgive yourself. Yes, you can do better. Yeah, whatever you do, that's okay. You forgive yourself about it because you're not the first. It's going around. It's contagious. Everybody in the world have a problem with sin. Because it's contagious from you as a child. You being introduced to it some way or somehow. They could keep you in a monastery. And even in the monastery, sometimes there's some flops. Yeah, sometimes things go wrong. As sacred as the place is, yeah. It's just showing you. Even the Bible speak that there was a fall away in heaven in Zion. So Zion is a perfect place. But even there, sometimes, things, seems to fall apart. So with that being said, it's not our fault, the wrong we do, but it doesn't give us right to do wrong. Because at the same time, the wages of sin still is death. It still makes you sad. It still makes you guilty, of what you do. You're still wrong. And it still doesn't make it right to do it. And if you continue to do it, you will continue to decrease, not increase. You know, if God say thou shalt not steal, you know, if you continue to steal, even though you're asking God for His grace and mercy, because they teach me how to steal when I was young, and then whatever, you know what I mean. If they teach you how to fireball kill, or teach you how to do drugs, when you were a child, you know what I mean. I understand it's not even your fault, Bobo. That's just super, you know. That's just a part of the world that, yeah, that forgiveness is needed. The parent that even birthed the child, whatever they've been through to make them to be on drugs, to make them to born the child and get a child drugs or expose the child to drugs. You see, it goes. It's nowhere to condemn no one. It's nowhere to point the finger and say you're a bad person. It's to reach that person and try to help the best we can because the whole world has been taught wrong. You see, so yes, world family, I encourage everyone that we forgive first ourselves, of the wrongs we do, and it's just common sense. Even the animals, if they walking through a path and they know there's danger that way, or they know is something that didn't work out the last time, no water was in that well the last time they been there, they ain't back there. Just naturally, it's final waters. So if we've made mistake in our past, if we found ourselves doing wrong, or even right now if we in a wrong, it's like going to that dry well. Yeah, it's like doing something that it's not gonna work. You can't do wrong and get right. That's the thing about sin. Even though the whole world participates in it, it's error. Yeah, you can't do it and get something right. You know what I mean? It's just no way you could do it. You know what I mean? Many people who are bakers, masons, carpenters, everybody who has a trade, you know, they understand that it's only really one way to do something. You have to do it the right way. If you don't do it the right way, you could even, harm yourself. You see, so that's our aim, to find the right and to live right. Because the more we do right, the more we build, and the more we succeed, and the more we progress, and the more we live better with each other, and the more we happy with each other. You see? So let's forgive ourselves, forgive those around us, because remember, everybody have a little bit of that. Yeah, everybody born with a little bit of that bubble. Don't care what they say. They can preach from the highest mount to the lowest sea. When the King Emmanuel Charles was the only one who perfected himself and removed this sin and, the black Christ, removed this iniquity, become the begotten of God. But the whole world at large got a little bit of that. Yeah, someone gonna cross your path. Someone gonna do you wrong. Someone gonna let you down. Someone ain't gonna be there. Someone did you something from you as a youth. Someone is doing you something now. Someone might do you something in the future. That is not right. But don't hold them to it. Forgive them. Yeah, because things happen to them. And the people who born them, things happen to them. And the people that born them, things happen to them. So, does it make it right? No, it doesn't. I understand. Should they get punished? I mean, come on. Why? If it's not really their fault, if it's psychological, if it's something from a child, if someone was taught to be brutal, from a child, they was taught to be, aggressive and a bully. Everyone in their family, brothers and their sisters, push them, punch them, and, kick them wrong, and yeah, all these stuff. And then they go into the schools, and then they play with their friends like that, and they act around their friends like that. Should they be punished? Or should they be taught? Should even further research be done to even see where the root of this problem is? And that's why I love good social workers, and that's what we all must become within our own selves. Social workers one to another. Social workers will go into that child and ask, okay, I see you little bully, but where it come from? Because I know you invented bullying. Yeah. People who do wrong, they ain't invented. It was passed down or it was taught. So, the social worker will find out where was this bullying taught? Where did it originate? And sometimes, most of the time, they'll find it was done in the home. The child was bullied. You see, so they come to school and they bully, or the child is being bullied at home. You see, or the child have a friend that is bullied, and may feel they just supporting their friend, in the bullying. You see, so you really have to get to the education of sin, where it originates from, and root it out, and be forgiven. We have to be forgiving, else we can't fix it. We're not going to be able to fix the world if we can't forgive. Because when we don't forgive, we don't understand. Black again.